Hello, everybody. Welcome to Resilience+Rise, the podcast for those who refuse to settle, who carve for more than success, and are ready to rise beyond it. Every episode, we dive deep into the electrifying principles of my upcoming book, Resilience+Rise 26.2 Transformative Miles to Unleash Your Marathon of Life Mindset. It is supposed to be releasing in Feb, March, early next year.
Mhm.
Regarding the book, it is basically about where life's hardest challenges becomes the stepping stones. It becomes the fire that forges towards your boldest breakthrough. If you are on the edge of reinvention, chasing a dream that feels just out of your reach, or yearning to reclaim the passion that once set you ablaze, here in the conversations, we will come to know what could be that extra step, what could be the turn, what could be the courage, and what could give you that unshakable momentum to be where you are.
Mhm.
My name is Thomas Scaria. I'm a coach, an ultra marathoner, and a relentless believer in your next most powerful chapter. Together we will shatter limits, rewrite your narrative, and rise, not despite the struggle but because of it. This isn't about survival, this is about the art of rising. Let's rise. Today, I'm so thrilled to welcome an exceptional guest. As I had spoken, it was the Michael Mintz. Michael Mintz. It's huge for me, guys, because there used to be time when I used to be following him and I used to be learning quite a bit of what he has done across. But if I'm supposed to just tell you what Michael is about, Michael's basic philosophy, principle, value, vision, mission is onto a simple element. He's passionate about helping people become successful. Things that are important to him is his faith, family, career, and people. He's passionate about helping people discover their vision of success and create effective goals. So when we talk about people like Michael Mins, oh, we say, okay, he's successful. But listen to this, guys. He's the person who walks his talks. He's the chairman currently for Mount Everest Region Education Cooperative that helps children in their education. He fights war on poverty and human trafficking with education. So that's what defines Michael. So without much ado, let's directly jump into Michael. Thank you so very much for your time, space, and presence. It's a huge honor for me.
Mine as well. Happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you. So, let me just jump into it. Is that you started your work as in career, got into basically real estate, etc. But if I'm looking to that graph, and especially the drive about making another person successful, a
Mhm.
drive of helping children through the education, wherein you realize education is the key. Can you take us through those particular life learnings, the elements?
Well, I think probably I have to back up and tell you that me getting to a place in life where I realized that helping other people be successful was also helping myself be successful was probably about a 10 to 15-year journey. At the age of 42, I found myself struggling in my career, in my marriage, and in my finances. And so I had about that time, a guy showed up and mentored me, um, and he changed my life. And one of the ways he changed my life quickly was understanding that my purpose is not about me, my purpose is about others. Okay. And kind of the old Zig Ziglar thought process in if you want to be successful in life, then help everyone around you become successful first. So learning that precept and learning that understanding and then putting it to use in every area of my life over the last um, 24 years has been an amazing journey. Okay, an amazing journey. I will tell you that one of the other greatest things I learned along the way was that life was happening for me, not to me. And when I say that, it's easy for us to say, life or God, why are you doing this to me? Why are you making me go through this? And I will tell you that I have absolutely learned most of what I know, most of my wisdom and insight, the little that I have has come from failure, not from success. Okay. And so I've learned over the last 15 years that our fear of failure is probably one of our greatest weaknesses as humans. It's one of the things that keeps us from being successful in life because we run away from failure. And so what happens is we never step up and step into the next portion or the next part of our life. So that's why you see so many people who remain exactly the same year after year after year after year. So those are probably some of the quintessential things I've learned. I'll add one other, and that's learning that the money that we make in life is not ours. It's a gift, but it's not a gift to us. It's a gift to others. And I've learned that the more I give away, the more I invest in other people. For instance, in the Mount Everest Educational Cooperative, basically all I'm doing is helping children that otherwise would not get an education get one. And people ask me all the time, well, why are you helping people halfway around the world when you could be helping people right next door?
True.
I said, listen, I don't understand God's ways, but I will tell you that in 2015, through a friend of mine who I went to help another friend in Nepal, I was introduced to a man and woman who ran a small school for children. And I realized at that moment that they were part of my purpose. God put them in my path for me to personally help. And now over the last almost 10 years, we've been able to help thousands of kids get an education. As I'm sure you know, in that part of the world, an education is a game changer for people. It's a game changer. I mean, you go from a place where you live in poverty to now you can make a living and provide for your siblings, provide for your family, provide for your mother. And so it's just amazing to see. And then in addition to that, I will tell you that the Nepali people are some of the most gracious and grateful people I've ever met in my life. So those are just a few of the things that encouraged me to do what I did.
Wow. So, guys, I don't know if you picked up that, is that it was during the time of his failure that he realized failures are a stepping stone. And he realized the success comes from not about himself, but making it successful for the others.
Yes,
And one of the most important, in fact, in my previous podcast also, we always talk about, remember, is life happening to you or for you?
right.
And now when we talk about Michael, when we see his on LinkedIn, which I will be posting his connection, please do connect with him. And there's a lot of learnings, or follow him. There's so much of learnings. What he realized, there was another very key word, was the purpose, getting people to another level. It was not just about providing the funds, but he got involved in showing them about not just living a life, but existing and thriving.
Yes,
When he talks about, I saw the passion in his eyes, is that when he talks about the children getting educated and they can be the provider. So that's a game changer. But Michael, over here, again, for a person who's standing, oh, so he was in Dallas. It seems he seems to be in an okay space. Failures, what could be the failures for him? If I go back to that particular chapter, if you don't mind, wherein you used it as a stepping stone, where I put it as resilience to rise about and
uh-huh.
rise more than where you are.
Yeah.
Could you go through some of those particular steps, some of the challenges? that you faced to make you who you are, and the belief in faith and the confidence that you have got the purpose to do things halfway across the globe and create an impact. Please.
Absolutely. Well, I will tell you that one of the biggest things I had to work on in the beginning, and one of the things my mentor and coach helped me with, is I had to completely change the words I use and the thoughts I think. Okay. Um, I was fairly negative and harsh in my thinking. Um, I was always blaming and criticizing someone else for my failure.
Hmm.
And I understood he gave me a few lessons and he gave me a few things to think about. And very quickly it made me understand that unless I was willing to become the most positive person I know in my life, I was never going to step up and out of the situation I was in. Which is why now when somebody asks me, how are you doing? I say, fantastic. Doesn't matter if I got a broken arm or a broken leg. When someone asks me how I'm doing, I say, fantastic. And here's why. Because I learned that our brain works 24/7, causing to occur what we believe is true. And if all we're inserting in our head and if all the words that are coming out of our mouth are negative, 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 when good things do happen to my life, I sabotage them because what my brain believes is true is, oh, you don't want to succeed. You don't want to have money. You want to be a failure. The good news is that just the opposite is just as true. If I start feeding my mind with, I'm a success, I am a great leader, I am a great husband, I am a great father, then now my brain is working 24/7, causing those things to occur rather than the way I used to think. So the first thing was my thinking. If you've ever read any Napoleon Hill, the first part of that book is nothing but spaced repetition of affirmation. So I literally had to change the way I speak, the way I talk, and the way I think. Next thing I had to do was I had to create a vision for my life because I didn't have one. People were to say, well, hey, well, where are you going to be 5 years from now? I go, well, I don't know. Well, what's your plan? Well, I don't know. I don't have one. So he took about a month to teach me how to put together an amazing vision for my life. And I will tell you that he helped me create it so clearly and I understood it so passionately that I literally could pull, because I wrote it down, right? I literally could pull the page apart and step into my future 5 years from now and look around. I can see this is where I live. This is how my wife dresses. This is what we drive. These are the friends we have. These are the parties we're going to. These are the charities that we're contributing to. Literally, I could visually see and feel and hear who I was and where I was going 5 years from now. That became very important because over time and practicing that, my future self now started to talk to me. No, we don't have time to do those things. No, we got to get up and do this thing. No, we don't have time for that kind of thinking, Mike, because this is where we're going. This is what we're becoming. This is who you want to be. Next, after that, I had to create he helped me understand how to create the most quintessential set of goals I've ever had in my life. Okay.
Nice. Okay.
So first was changing my thinking, then was creating a vision for my
Yeah.
life, then was creating an amazingly intentional list of 30-day, 90-day, 1 year, and 5 year goals. And then finally, which is probably one of if he ever taught me anything, this is what changed my life, was creating every morning 3 priorities that I'm going to do that are moving me towards accomplishing my goal. Not my to-do list, not my planner for the day, not the things I want to accomplish. In addition to that, 3 things, 3 priorities that the sole purpose of those 3 priorities is moving me another step towards my goals and my vision in life. Well, people say, well, did you hit all 3 every day? I go, well, of course not. No, no. So if I got number 1 done, then 2 and 3 would go to the top of the list the next day. You've heard people say that when you have a list of goals that are written down and have a date beside them, you become part of the 1% of the population. I will tell you that when you do that and you start having 3 priorities on a daily basis, Now you become 1% of the 1%. And what happens is what we thought was going to take us 5 years or 10 years, now we accomplish in 2 years. So those are probably the four greatest things that helped me step up and out of where I was into and onto a path of not only changing my life, but changing other people's lives.
Wow, that is absolutely a gold mine. So I will just repeat, you spoke about the words that you speak, and I'm also a very strong proponent of that because whenever I'm reading any of these particular books, in fact, my book has got a lot of elements wherein how you talk to people, and most importantly, how you talk to your own self
Mm,
creates a difference. Uh, The second one was about the vision board. The third one was having the task put across in a
clear and
way,
intentional set of goals. Yeah.
set a set of goals. And the first most important was having three elements or tasks, not tasks, not the to-do list, but the three
Priorities.
accomplished priorities that you would do to make you a better human to reach towards your goal.
Mm,
It sounds fantastic, but I know your mind would be bigger than initially when you started it. There's always a difference between the mind and the body and the soul, etc., or the spirit coming in. So, how did you overcome that part? Because again, when I go back in time, wherein you were in your 40s, you were in a space where failure was a part of your life,
mm,
whether it was about business, whether it was about relationship, whether it was your life itself. And we have got the mentality about, unfortunately, the societal norms usually says that we are built up on three caveats. That is, you either compare, you criticize, or you complain.
mm.
And that's where you find your the sorrow factor or the comfort factor to a lot of people. But for you to break those particular mindset, because you talk about mindset a lot in your writings or in your talks. So, what could be the few steps that people could work on to rise above those?
Well, um, I think probably the first thing would be to sit down and create at least 10 affirmations that you can say and repeat to yourself every day. Okay.
Okay.
Um, One of the things that, and when I talk about affirmations, I have a lot of executives or people who have been, successful in life. A lot of them like to poo-poo affirmations, and the reason I say you should be very careful because spaced, spaced repetitive affirmations are what changed my life. Okay, and doing them like when I first started them, I was repeating them 4 times a day. Okay, and I was
Oh,
reading through the list 4 times a day, and didn't believe any of them at the time. Okay. But it's amazing as you begin to speak truth into your mind, slowly it begins to grab onto a piece and grab onto a piece and grab onto a piece until such time as I actually began to believe that these were possible. Well, maybe I can do, maybe I can become this, maybe I am this, maybe I am this. Okay. And then as you continue to do that and continue to do that, what you do is then you actually get to a place where you go, you know what, I am these things. I am becoming a great father. I am becoming a great leader. I am being successful in life. So I think probably for me, one of the things, the first things that dragged me out of where I was mentally, physically, spiritually was affirmations, you know. So so it absolutely changed my life. After that was creating, and I'd never done this before, was creating a grateful list. Okay. Things that I'm grateful for, people I'm grateful for, and reading through it numerous times a day. I will tell you now that I've learned that gratitude is quintessentially the skill that will change your life. If you ever wanted someone to teach you a skill that I guarantee you over all the other skills you're going to learn, gratitude is the one. Okay. Because What happens in failure is that gratitude will grab you by the hand and walk you through failure and convince you that, yes, this is going to be okay. Kid, get up, keep going. Okay. You say, well, isn't motivation what you need? I say, listen, all of my motivation comes from gratitude. Gratitude is what motivates me. Being thankful for who I am, what I have, who I'm married to, my children, all the things I've been given. It's amazing how you begin to reflect on those day after day after day. You know, wow, man, I am absolutely blessed beyond measure. Okay. And then when you go to other parts of the world, like India and Nepal, you realize that, oh my gosh, I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I can't believe how good I've had it for so long. And so, in fact, I posted about this morning that
Yes.
one of the key skills you ever learn in life, if you want to be successful in life, is graciousness, is gratitude. So I don't know if I completely answered the question. I kind of lost track of where I was going there, but that is actually the answer. So
Um, for me, hearing you, I was not too sure where my question was, but the nuggets, these are like pure golden nuggets that you're putting across. Yes, I did read your post this morning about gratitude and the affirmations and the different elements. But when you are walking the talk and you see that's happening around, so guys, get this very clear. If there's nothing that you can take away from this conversation, but the elements of doing the affirmation here, what I just heard from Michael is that even he did not really believe his affirmations initially, but making it as a perpetual habit, day in and day out. He believed in what he was driving towards.
mm,
He believed in being thankful.
mm,
And here again, guys, you don't have to go to India or Nepal or any other place as such. The fact that you get up in the morning and your feet hits the ground, be thankful because you can breathe. You okay? You look on to the news, which is something which I don't see far and few. But then there's so much of hurting. There's so much of pain. You may look around in your neighborhood. There are people who have not woken up that morning, and you're awake for another day. What is a gift? And that's what I'm hearing from Michael is that every day is a gift. Wow! As I'm even talking about it, I'm getting the goosebumps. Thank you so very much for it. So, when you went and started working in Nepal for the children, if you have to pick up among the most beautiful or profound, irrespective whether how do you face it as learning, what would that be?
I'm gonna make sure I understand. So you're asking me what did I learn from the time I've been in Nepal?
Yes.
Okay. Um, Probably the greatest teaching tool in life is going to a place where people live day in and day out on dirt floors. No indoor plumbing. They cook on earthen stove, mud stoves,
Hmm.
um, and they're happy. They're happy, and they're willing to share any and everything they have with you. Okay, so you go, well, how can a person who doesn't have the things I have, that they don't have a car, they don't have a house, they live in kind of a shack, they live on dirt floors. How can they be happy? What is creating this happiness? What's creating this graciousness? And I will tell you is because they have not been, what's the word I'm looking for here? Hmm. They don't have the surroundings that we have, the media or all these people speaking into our lives. If you don't have this, then you're not successful.
Keeping
If
up
you
with the
don't
growth.
have this, then you're not successful. Okay. If you don't have this, you're not successful. Okay. Um, I will tell you, for instance, my grandparents, when if you were to grade them on a scale of 1 to 10 as far as being successful as far as the world is concerned, they'd be a 2 or a 3.
Okay.
But if you were to grade my grandparents on how they loved us and how they mentored us and how they taught us and how they cared about us, they're a 12. Okay. My grandmother never had much of anything as far as financial, never had a great career. She was a housewife, a farmer's housewife. But all of the wisdom, I won't say all, most of the wisdom that I carry in my life came from my grandmother. Okay. She fed wisdom into my life every day, every day. Okay. So, and I think what happens, and I encourage executives and CEOs and presidents, I say, look, get to a place where you're no longer who you are every day during the day. Go to a place where you're just another face. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows what you do. Nobody knows what you've accomplished. And go hang out and sit down on their floor with a little coffee table where they serve their meal and have dinner with them and listen to them talk about how blessed they are, how grateful they are, how the things just keep happening for them. That's just amazing. And so one of those things was this man shows up from nowhere and wants to give my child a scholarship so my child can go to school. And so they're beyond happy. They're beyond grateful. They're beyond, this is the greatest thing that could possibly happen in our lives. And then you see that child go to school, graduate, then go to university, and then not only come back and take care of their parents, but now they're sponsoring a child in school. And you just
Beautiful.
go, I I have this backwards. I have what I think is really important in life is not what's really important. Okay. Like I love to talk about legacy
Sure.
because, legacy we want to believe is what we leave to our children. And usually that has to do with money and assets and all this kind of stuff. And I will tell you that nothing could be further from the truth. The legacy you leave in life is not the money or things you leave, it's the lives that you change. That's legacy. That's what outlives you. Buildings fall down. Money goes away, but what lasts forever are the lives that you change along the way on your journey in life. And so now I'm just excited about how many lives can I change. You know what's crazy? I can help a child in Nepal pay for an education for an entire year
Okay.
for a little over $400. You go, what? Yeah, I can provide an education for a young man or young woman in Nepal, a great elementary education, the junior high and high school for a little over $400 a month. I'm going, I get to change someone's life by investing $400 a year in their life. And I go, how many times? So I sign up. How many times can I do this? How many children do you have? Okay. And so it's just life changing. And then now we're also rescuing some children who have been trafficked.
Traffic.
So now we're providing them for $600 a year. We're providing them room, board, and education, right? Because they don't have a family. And so we're literally investing in children's lives who go on to go to university, who go on to do great things, who go on to become great careers in their own mind. And then now they're taking their funds and now they're pouring them back into their community, their schools, and other kids who are in the villages where they came from. And I go, wow, isn't that really why we're here? Isn't that really our
Yes.
purpose in life, is to change other people's lives? And so I get to live the blessed life I know. I'm the most blessed person I know because I get to do this.
Beautiful. Of course, there are so many other questions which is coming out, but just being mindful of the time. Do you have any parting statement? Because we, at least I don't know about others, but I've learned a lot. Wherein I When we spoke about affirmations, we talked about vision board, we talked about clarity in the goals, we talk about being grateful, and you
Mm.
also walked the talk about helping children in Nepal. But is there a parting statement that you would like the audience or the listeners to know what's happening?
Yeah, I think probably one of the things I learned probably at the end of all this training that I was able to go through was how important it was to have a time every morning where I'm walking through a fixed routine. Okay. Here's what I mean when I say that. I've been doing this now for almost 20 something years where every morning at 5 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and I go through a routine of things. Okay. Um, and those things include prayer meditation. Those things include reading through my I am list, reading through my grateful list, reading through my goals, writing down my priorities, journaling, exercising, and then getting dressed and going to work. And I do that religiously. Okay. And I if you'd have asked me to do that back when I was 42, I go, no, I'm not getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do all of those things. And I will tell you that um, it's been life changing as well. Um, I had a conversation with a he was in his midlife. He was 50 something, and he was questioning me about reading through all this stuff every day. And he says, I think that if you read through stuff that often every day, then it becomes boring and ineffective. I said, well, listen to me. If the I am statements you're reading, and if the grateful list you're reading, and if the goals you're reading are boring, then you got the wrong list. You don't have the right things on your list, because I guarantee you, every morning when I read through them, they get me excited. They make me want to get up and go to work. They make me want to earn enough more money so that I can help some more children get education. Okay. So that's I think for me, because I'll back up and tell you that I am not a ritualistic person. Okay. I'm a salesperson. I'm in the sales industry. I'm a VP of sales and marketing as my job. And I will tell you that I'm kind of fast and furious. Okay, so I'm not typically a very organized person. Okay, that's not my forte.
Okay.
But learning how to stop every morning and go through this routine of things prepares me before I ever leave my house for this is what I'm going to accomplish today. Okay. I know when I walk out the door and head to work, these are the things I'm going to accomplish today. And I'm fired up. I'm motivated. I'm excited. I have energy. I'm enthusiastic. And I'm the most positive person I know. And that morning routine is probably what makes it happen every morning.
Beautiful. So having intentional morning rituals or routines is a game changer.
Yes.
That needs to be positive, and be create a self belief that you can reach that. Fantastic. Again, guys, when for me, it's the same statement I say is that when I look the giants that I've come across on LinkedIn or the other platforms, the word I use is wow. They are extraordinary. They are so impressive. They are so inspirational. But here, this is what we got to understand is that they are ordinary, but they have done a little extra to become that extraordinary.
Mm.
So my question is, what are you going to do something extra? Maybe today, maybe end of the week or beginning of the week. What
Mm.
steps? It's coming to the end of the year. What steps are you going to do that's going to be a game changer?
Right.
That not only that your future self will thank you, but the people, the legacy that you leave, that's what I've taken from Michael. What are they going to look for? It may not be just one generation, but generations ahead.
Right.
Because when you plant one seed, it might turn out to be a oak that gives a shadow, a soothing point of time for generations for people passing through that particular forest or to
Right.
that grove. So, what are you going to do? So, Michael, thank you so very much for your
Thank you.
time and space. It has been such a beautiful honor. It has been just amazing. And, guys, I will put out Michael's link about the charity work that he's doing around in Nepal. So if this has resonated with you in some way or other, please do click on it. And it's a season for giving. Please do give and let the world grow to be a better place. Thank you. Over and out.
Thank you.